Most people think calorie tracking is obsessive or unnecessary when they're trying to lose weight, but I think there's a lot of benefits that comes with calorie tracking. And when I say calorie tracking, I do not mean a forever thing, I mean more so 3 to 6 months. And look, if you are someone who feels that they get an eating disorder when they start calorie tracking and they get really obsessive and it, affects them, simple as this, do not do it. Simple as that. But if you're someone who does not get affected by it and you're trying to lose weight, I highly recommend it. Not only for your results, but just for building, lifelong habits and gaining valuable information that will help you long term. I'm going to cover my reasons for why it is super important and why I think 3 to 6 months is the perfect amount of time to be tracking your calories for you to learn a lot. First point is you learn portion sizes. If you do some calorie tracking, it shows you what an actual portion is. A lot of people will see like on, let's say, a block of chocolate, it says, have a serving or know your serving. And people will assume maybe it's like a quarter of the block when realistically it's one row. It's the smallest piece, like 25 grams. People might think, oh yeah, that would be like a quarter of the block, right? No, it's literally one row. And there's so many calories that come with it. It's like, you can hardly have any chocolate. It's like when you really put it into perspective, chocolate is so calorie dense and it's just, if you were to eat half a block, which really doesn't even fill you up, even half a block, it's so many calories. Or even with other foods that are really calorie dense, like oil, 5 milliliters of oil is like 40 to 50 calories. For 40 calories, you might be thinking, oh yeah, like 5 milliliters, might be like, something like that, right? No, it's like, that's it like that. It's the smallest amount. Having this awareness is going to help you avoid accidental overeating, which is only going to help with your consistency when trying to lose fat. My next point is you'll learn which foods actually support fat loss. So finding foods that are high protein and low calories like chicken, Greek yogurt, fruit, multiple of these foods. Essentially just finding foods that will give you the most volume for the least amount of calories. For example, 100 calories of watermelon would be literally like half a watermelon, like a crazy amount, right? But 100 calories of chocolate is not even a serving, not even a row. It's like 3 pieces. And it's not to say that you shouldn't have calorie-dense options if they are healthy foods. Calorie tracking is only going to help you be able to eat these, healthier foods that are more calorie-dense in moderation. My next point is accuracy matters. As I was just talking about, healthy doesn't always mean that it's going to support your fat loss goals. For sure, it's going to do good things for your health, but for fat loss, it's not always the case if a food is super high in calories and you're eating a lot of it. Without calorie tracking, it is very, very easy to overshoot the calorie estimates, especially if you are someone that, eats healthy and you've never, done any calorie tracking before. You might be thinking that you're eating all this healthy food, but realistically, you could be eating well into a maintenance or even a surplus and ultimately gaining weight, even though you feel like you could be eating so super healthy, right? Another thing calorie tracking also does is make you aware of hidden calories. So there's these things that we'd call like sneaky calories essentially, which is like liquid calories or just like little sauces and oils and butter. As I was talking about before, like a tablespoon of oil is about like 100 calories, which is insane. And a tablespoon is not a lot, like it's a tablespoon, right? And some people grab the oil bottle and like absolutely load it up, right? Like they'll use like basically half the bottle, which would be insane amounts, like close to 1,000 calories. But even other things, just like, salad dressings, like, there's oil in salads and there's certain salad dressings that actually have quite a bit of calories, but people will think because it's a salad, it's going to be very low calorie, support your fat loss, and it's going to be great for you, right? And it is great for you, but doesn't mean it's going to be great for fat loss. Even things like juices and like smoothies, like fruit smoothies, yes, they are very healthy and very beneficial, but if you go and buy like a fruit smoothie, like one of those boost ones, or even like the Emma and Tom's or U Foods or anything like that, all those fruit juices will be like easily like 200 to 300 calories for like a small bottle, right? Which, it's pretty absurd for something that feels healthy at least. And it is healthy, but for something that feels like it's supporting your fat loss goals, right? And I know I've already mentioned that calorie tracking teaches you moderation with, healthy foods and calorie dense foods, but it also teaches you moderation with, calorie dense foods that aren't essentially healthy. So like foods like chocolate, pizza, burgers, all this stuff, or meals out. It's going to allow you to see, what portions that you can be having of these foods that is technically eating in moderation that fits within your daily nutritional goals. And this way it proves that you don't actually need to cut out these foods completely, because as long as they're, being eaten in moderation and they fit your daily goals, you're still going to lose weight if you're in a calorie deficit, right? Now, getting to my last point, it's a long-term skill. After 3 to 6 months of tracking, or maybe even more, you will learn so much more about nutrition than you already know. And you'll sort of be able just to go to the shops or look at food in general and sort of have an idea of what calories they are, what protein they are, and if they're actually going to support your fat loss goal. To some of you who haven't calorie tracked, you might look at people who have this knowledge of all this food, calories, protein, and all that as obsessive. But realistically, it's a good thing to be, I guess, not obsessive, but to know a lot about, right? Because it's generally your health. Having this knowledge, you can control your weight, and it makes it a lot easier to hit your fitness goals if you ever want to do like a lean gain phase, if you ever want to cut weight, or if you just want to be in a maintenance. It's very helpful for that because you know your portions, you know what foods is going to help you in each phase that you're going through. And it just saves you all the stress of having just to guess and, not really be accurate with anything. Or even if you are calorie tracking and you're starting out, it saves you having to do the actual calorie tracking because, now you've done the hard yards the hard yards of calorie tracking. There's ways that you can make it easier, but there is really simple ways to do it. But yeah, you've done the hard yards, you've learned all you need to know, and now you don't need to do it anymore, and you've got knowledge to do it yourself. If I was to put it any other way and compare it to any other example, it's like budgeting your money, right? And trying to figure out where all your spending goes. Yes, you can probably have a rough estimate of where your spending goes to because, you're living your life, you're going about days. But it's the same with food. You probably know where most of your food's coming from, getting takeaway, junk food and all this stuff. But getting back to the example, it's like budgeting. You know where your spending's going to. It's probably going shopping unnecessarily or getting takeout, all this different stuff, right? But until you actually start doing some budgeting, you don't know for sure. And doing the budgeting will allow you to fine tune things even more. And if you have saving goals, it will allow you to actually do that with accuracy rather than just guessing and just thinking, all right, well, I need to cut down on this spending when you might not even need to. It might be something else that you might need to give away with. Or, you might think it's only this that you need to cut out, but realistically there's something else as well. It's just going to help you with your accuracy. Yes, it is the slightest bit more work, but there's easy ways to go about tracking calories. But in the long run, it's going to be very beneficial. It's going to mean that you have more guaranteed better results, and you can have more confidence while being in a fat loss phase. And on our program, we aim to make this whole process of, tracking your calories and trying to lose fat as simple as possible for our clients. So it's as sustainable as possible, and it still lets them eat their favorite foods and attend social events and actually enjoy themselves at these social events while getting the results that they want. So if you're stuck in a bit of a fat loss rut and you think you need some support on your journey, don't hesitate to reach out. You can go to my Instagram at lanequinn.coaching and just DM me the word tracking so I know you came from this video, and we'll see how we can help you.